Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're breaking down the step-by-step process of notarizing a document. Whether you're a brand new notary or just brushing up on the basics, this guide will walk you through each part of the process with tips and insights to make sure everything goes smoothly. So stick around. By the end of this video, you'll feel confident and ready for your next notarization. For those of you who are new here, I'm Jennifer Cooper with JKC Mobile Notary. On this channel, we talk about everything notary, from tips and tutorials to support for growing your business and insights from my own experiences in the field. My goal is to help notaries succeed by making complicated topics feel easy and accessible. So if that sounds like something you're into, hit that subscribe button and let's get started. All right, first up, let's cover what notarizing a document actually means. Essentially, when we notarize a document, we're verifying the identity of the signer, confirming that they're signing willingly, and ensuring that the document is authentic. Notarization adds an extra layer of trust so that that document can be legally recognized. So think of yourself as the last line of defense in the signing process, making sure everything is accurate and compliant. Now that we know what it is, let's dive into the step-by-step process. Preparation is key. Before you meet with your signer, make sure you have all of the tools you need. Here's a quick checklist. Your notary journal. This is essential for logging each notarization that you do. Your notary stamp or seal. Make sure it's current and compliant with your state's requirements. Pens and IDs. Bring a few pens for the signer and double check that you have your ID guide on hand for verification. The NNA, the National Notary Association, provides a great one, and I'll link that in the description down below. Make sure you have any required notary certificates, and some states require additional forms, so check your state guidelines. You're a notary, and you should not only have pens for signers, but you should keep extra jurats and acknowledgments with you always. By gathering everything beforehand, you're ensuring the appointment will run smoothly and it makes a great impression on the client. Now that you're prepared, let's talk about the most important step, confirming the assigner's identity. When your client arrives or you arrive at your client's location, start by politely asking for their ID, usually a government-issued photo ID like a driver's license or a passport. Take a moment to inspect it carefully. Check that the photo matches the person in front of you and that the ID isn't expired. I always like to compare the signature on the ID to the one they'll be providing on the document, just to be thorough. In some cases, you may need to ask additional questions if something doesn't look quite right. Remember, this step is crucial. Don't skip any part of it. Next up, let's take a look at the document. Read through it briefly to make sure everything is filled out properly. We want no blank spaces, no incomplete sections. As a notary, we're not responsible for the document's content, but we do want to make sure it's ready to be notarized. Now, if you're performing a jurat, you'll also be asking the signer to swear or affirm to the content of that document, that it's true. So you're taking an oath. So keep that in mind as you review it and have some oaths already nearby. If there's something unusual like a missing page or blank lines, gently point it out to the signer and let them decide if they'd like to proceed. It really is all about communication. All right, the next part is completing the notary certificate. This is where your notary stamp comes in. First, let's make sure the information in the certificate section is accurate. Double check the date, location, and any specific details required by your state. Before I go on, The reason you're checking this is, and that's the other reason you have extra acknowledgments and jurats with you, is very often people will print out certificates that don't meet your state's requirements. So be prepared and understand what meets the requirement and what doesn't. That's going to be something you need to learn from your Secretary of State or governing body. Okay. But then carefully place your stamp on the designated spot on the certificate. Here's a pro tip. Make sure the stamp is clear and fully legible. It's a simple thing, but it can make a huge difference. Also, make note, don't stamp over where it says seal here or stamp here. Above it, below it, to the side of it, don't stamp over words, okay? And once you've done your stamp, sign the certificate. This is your official act of notarization, and it's what makes the document legally binding. Take your time here. You want it to look professional. But you also want your signature approved if this is a recorded document. So don't just throw away this moment. We're almost done with this signing. Now it's time to log the notarization in your journal. This is a record of the transaction and a requirement in many states. You'll want to include details like the signer's name, the type of document, the date, and any relevant information about the ID that you checked. I also like to ask my clients to sign my journal as an added confirmation of their identity and willingness to sign. Keeping a thorough journal can be incredibly helpful if questions about notarizations ever come up down the road. I want to tell you something else. I don't know a state where if you have to journal where the signer doesn't have to sign the journal, so make sure you do that. It's not optional. Also, in California, at least, you have to put next to every document that you notarize the price that you're charging for that document. So whether there's a space provided or not, make sure you're keeping track of the notary fee for each of the notarizations that you do in your journal. There's a whole nother, we could do a whole video just on how to do your journal, and we probably will, but for today's purpose, just keep those things in mind. Once everything is documented, you can wrap up the appointment by giving the notarized document back to the client and answering any final questions they might have. Be sure to thank them for choosing you as their notary. Here's a little friendly reminder. Don't forget to double check that you didn't leave your stamp behind or miss anything in the journal. It's all in the details, and clients appreciate notaries who are thorough and attentive. Check the documents, check your bag, check and make sure you have everything you need before you leave. And that's it. You've successfully completed a notarization from start to finish. By following these steps, you'll be well on your way to building trust and confidence in each appointment. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more tips and tutorials like this. And if you have any questions about the process or want to share your own experiences, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep notarizing with confidence. We'll see you later. Bye.